Welcome back now, live to the Sydney Football Stadium. St George cheerleaders waiting to welcome the Dragons of St George Illawarra. A portion of the crowd hoping tonight that I guess Trent Barrett will be really brilliant. Cool night in Sydney after a beautiful day. And this is it for either the Dragons or the Broncos. The loser will bow out and the winner will progress to next weekend to take on the minor premiers Parramatta. It hasn't been a happy hunting ground for the Dragons. They've only won 2 of the 7 games they've played here at the SFS as the Broncos, the defending premiers, are led out. Captain Darren Lockyer struggling against injury. They've won 1 game from their last 8. It's not what you would call stunning form coming into a sudden death semi-final. Much will depend on his performance. Darren Lockyer, one of the top 3 players in the world of rugby league today. And now, the famous red and white jumper of St George, now worn by St George Illawarra. Tonight with the white and the red V, playing on one of their home grounds. They beat the Bulldogs at Homebush last weekend. And talking of the better players in the game, there is Trent Barrett looking for a big one tonight. The Cards. Let's have a look at them.
And 2 changes to the 17 that defeated the Bulldogs last week. Roberts at fullback, he passed a fitness test during the week. Blacklock 1 wing, Jamie Ainscough returns to the side. Gasnier and McGregor the centre pairing. Trent Barrett is the 5/8 and captain. Hooper is at half. Now a reshuffle in the pack sees Andrew Hart back to lock. Tracy in the second row alongside Lance Thompson. He's back after 3 weeks on the sideline. And up front, Lightfold rolls. Wayne Bartram goes to hooker. That pushes Riddell onto the interchange bench alongside Ward, Bailey and Peters, coached by Andrew Farrar.
And the Brisbane Broncos line up this way. Darren Lockyer is the fullback and captain. Takiri and Saylor, very powerful wingers. Chris Walker and Stewie Kelly in the centres. Ashley Harrison the 5/8, Sean Berrigan the half. Burns, Myers and Carlaw, pretty good back row there. Webke and Sivanasiva, Pritis, that's the front row. Interchange of Webb, Parker, Walker and Curry, coached by Wayne Bennett.
Now the National Rugby League has decided to have 1 minute silence here as a mark of respect for the events that occurred in New York and Washington and Pennsylvania earlier in the week. Talking of New York, there's Leighton here tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen,
it's really Leighton Hewitt up there in the stands. Kim Clijsters with him. Pat Rafter. Leighton, I believe, supporting St George Illawarra, and Pat, of course, the Brisbane Broncos. Andrew's on the sideline. Good evening, Andrew.
Yeah, g'day, Ray. Bit of breeze in this first half at the backs of the Dragons. You said it. It's hard to believe that we're still talking about the Broncos as premiership contenders after winning only twice in the last 2.5 months. But I can tell you, from inside their camp, they're as confident tonight as they've been for at least 6 or 7 weeks. Don't write them off.
Paul Simpkins is the referee. Just watching the faces of the players during that observance of a minute's silence. It crossed my mind, how do you prepare for something as big as this tonight? Given the events of last Tuesday, Webke takes the first play back 12 metres out from his own line. So the first sudden death semi-final is underway, and the first penalty goes to Brisbane and Lockyer takes a very quick penalty kick for line. Brisbane there with Sivanasiva. Tackled 7 or 8 metres on the Dragon side of halfway, and they really have come out firing, the Broncos. Very keen to get on with it. Here's Berrigan. Up the middle and met there and pulled down by Darren Tracy in combination with Chris Laikval. Priddis turns it back on the inside for Webke. He shovels it back for Priddis. It's away for Lockyer. Lockyer tries to weave through. He's tackled 11 metres out from the line. The Broncos on the attack, early days, but really making the ball do the work. It is with Harrison now, and he's going to be made to play the ball 7 metres out on 5. Ashley Harrison plays it on the far side. Berrigan goes to Lockyer. Lockyer steps away from Hart. Lockyer's got support. He's over Sivanasiva. On the back end of concentrated attacking rugby league, Sivanasiva has scored.
Well, Andrew Voss was talking about the confidence in this Brisbane camp, and they have made their intentions very clear from the kickoff. It's a power game, the big men going forward. On the last tackle here, you can see they've moved up quickly on the outside. That forces Lockyer back through the middle, and Sivanasiva did well to stay on side. A great start for the reigning premiers.
Yeah, right from that tap, it was big runs from Sivanasiva. Then Carlaw, Webke chimed in, and Darren Lockyer found a massive hole up the middle there, running the football on the last tackle. Great stepping game. He got outside, inside of Hart, and also Bartram, found some space. And then Sivanasiva, he was just backing up on the inside. He was standing there, waiting for a kick to be put in, found himself with the football and over the line.
So 4-0, you would think will become 6-0 as Lockyer converts the try that he set up. A wonderful start for Brisbane after 2 minutes. They came from down under their own uprights to put it down under the dot at the other end, inside the first 2 minutes. Roberts. Webke now on the kick return. As we welcome our network back to us that have been to a break, Sivanasiva playing the ball. Second play since the restart. That's the third. Carlaw. And now Bradley Myers is put down on the Telstra logo. Priddis struggling with his defenders like Vol and Bartram. Bartram trying to chop himself free. Wide for Harrison's left-footed kick. Down into the northeastern corner for Blacklock. Gasnier, as the penalty is given by Simpkins, and it's inside the 10, and it does appear that Darren Burns was the chief offender.
And the first time Brisbane had the football, there was a penalty given after one tackle for inside the 10. The first time, as Gordon Tallis looks on, he's talking to his players. Hasn't found touch. The Broncos have got it back through Saylor.
Well, that was just superb work on the far side as we see Saylor stepping through, going for the line, tackled low by Tracy, 5 out.
So Berrigan to Keary. Eventually they stop him. Priddis. Lockyer. Bartram came up out of the line fast. Webke. 5 metres away from the uprights. Berrigan. Priddis again. Sivanasiva for 2 tries. Sivanasiva gets his second try.
the Brisbane Broncos, but take a bow, Stuart Kelly. The Dragons kicking for touch on the penalty. Stuart Kelly, have a look at this for an effort. Climbing high, keeps the ball back in play, and then we see a bust from that by Wendell Saylor. Possibly playing his last game of rugby league if they were to get beaten tonight. But early on, that doesn't look like it's the case. Tracy did well, but then a very, very simple effort here. Straight up the middle, Sivana-Siva, 2 tries in 5 minutes. Can you believe it?
What an amazing start to the game for the Broncos. They've had all the ball. The Dragons have had the ball, but only 1 tackle. And Sivana-Siva driving hard, getting low. Priddis has been great early, running from dummy half. They just didn't get low enough. The Dragons defenders. Be a long time since he scored 2 tries, and that's Sivana-Siva.
There's the conversion from Lockyer. As was the case with the first one, it's successful. 12-0 after 7 minutes now. Just the start that they would have been dreaming about. Bartram and Lightwell unable to contain Sivana-Siva. Close to the line. Roberts again with the restart. And Saylor brings it back. 25 out. This is the second play from the restart. Saylor took the first, Webke takes the second. And they go to the blind side with Carlaw. It is 12-0, 2 converted tries in 5 minutes. If you have just joined us, Sivana-Siva has scored 2 tries. And he's about to play this football, 38 metres out. Centre ground, Priddis for Berrigan. Berrigan put away on the 20-metre line for Myers, and then away for Harrison. Left-footed bomb. And Roberts asked to defend. Who did that come off? It's come off the Broncos, and back to the 20 for the restart.
Kicked just a little bit too deep here, but there was some pressure on Amos Roberts. Stuart Kelly flying high there. And it is going to be 8 minutes into this first semi-final before Brisbane make their first tackle. That is it.
Lance Thompson. Being sidelined, of course, with that leg injury. A welcome return for St George Illawarra, no doubt, but I don't think he was expecting this kind of a welcome back. Played by Riles, then through Barrett for Lightwell. Now they're going to start taking chances. That's the last thing they need to do, is press the panic button. Barrett will play it, halfway line. Thompson, just outside the 40-metre line. An amazing start to this sudden death semi-final. As Barrett's kick goes over the dead ball line, it'll come back for the 20-metre restart. At least it gives you a chance to get your defensive line set against the Broncos, I suppose.
Just for Brisbane, Shane Webke limping quite noticeably in the background. He's with the trainer at the moment as Takiri goes forward.
This is Chris Walker, the centre. And St George Illawarra getting Luke Bailey ready.
They've got some very big men up front to the St George Dragons side. George Illawarra, I should say, and Brisbane with this quick play the ball and some nippy men out of dummy half are finding some space in behind the ruck area. That's the last against them. Lockyer, 38 out. Wobbly old kick. Amos Roberts should defuse it nicely and does so. Picks up some nice metres.
And an incisive run, carrying the football back by Amos Roberts to the 30-metre line now for Tracy. Thompson. 12-0 Brisbane. Sivana-Siva, 2 tries, both converted by Lockyer. This is Andrew Hart. And the Broncos drive in defence. Barrett Puts a little kick in. It's with Takiri. Five metres from the halfway. And the Broncos attacking again. Quick hands out for Kelly. Sailor now turns them inside out, heads for the line. Sailor's over. 3 tries, 11 minutes gone.
Yeah, it was just a freakish piece of football on this side of the field by Lottie Takiri. The boys go up, jubilation everywhere. The Broncos, they are on fire in the opening 11 minutes of this match. It's a semi-final. It's a lovely little kick put in, and it looked like St George Illawarra winger was going to get the football on Ainscough, but watch Takiri. Not only snatches it, but beats 2 players, and then from then they went forward. A quick shift to the right-hand side of the field, saw plenty of open space, and the 2 wingers for the Brisbane side doing their job. Takiri makes an easy 20, 25 metres. And then the quick shift out wide, plenty of space, and George Illawarra defence not set properly. Nathan Blacklock not even in position, got there late. A simple ball, turned Gasnier inside out, and look at Wendell Sailor go.
The past decade when the Broncos have been at their best, they have always gone wide after a change in possession. We haven't seen them that successful for a while now, but as soon as they got the football with Takiri on this side, they got it to the other side of the field as quickly as they could. And Wendell Sailor, well, he bamboozled Gasnier. Tracy had no idea where he was going. Lockyer looking for 3 from 3.
15 in from touch, and he's got it. 3 converted tries. 18-0, the Broncos. Andrew on the sideline.
Oh, Ray, the Brisbane Broncos, they're the Rip Van Winkles of the Telstra Premiership. It's as if they have awoken tonight. The counter-attack is spot on. The talk is out there. It's been there since the opening set of 6. The big men rolling forward. Wendell celebrating there, the 3rd try of the night. I'll tell you one thing, Ray, I reckon the Premiership betting has now been suspended.
Yes, the bookmakers will be doing a bit of knob twiddling, I think is the expression. 20-metre line for Sailor. Webke, 25 metres out from his own line. Somehow or other, they have to stem the tide. At the moment, the Dragons have not got an answer. Sivanasiva is on his 40-metre line, and Burns wants the ball, but they've gone to the blind side for this run from Pritis. And that is 5 gone. Lockyer running before kicking. Lockyer's on the ground. It's a penalty to Brisbane.
Yes, Ray, Andrew Hart stepped right in the way of Darren Lockyer. He beat one Lockyer. Bartram had come up quickly on the outside of him. Now watch Andrew Hart, steps back, takes the running of Lockyer, knocks him down. Had to be a penalty. They're right in front, about 30 metres out. Looks like they will take a shot at goal.
Why not? That means the opposition, even at this early stage, would have to score 4 times. Very poor play from the Dragons. Firstly, with Bartram racing up. The last thing you want to do against Brisbane, last tackle with Darren Lockyer with the ball in his hands, is run up and leave a hole, create a gap for him. Wayne Bartram raced up, and then you saw Andrew Hart actually move to go back and impede the chase. Not doing much right so far, the red and whites, and this is just another nail if Lockyer can steer this one over.
32 metres out. And again the flags are up. So it's 4 out of 4 for Lockyer. Quarter of an hour gone, and 20-0 the Broncos. Andrew.
And Ray, the messages are coming frantically from the coach Andrew Farah to the sideline. I'm looking at the Brains Trust, Nathan Brown, David Boyle on the bench. Andrew Farah is just churning out messages, probably 20 in the 60 seconds. He's looking down at his bench. He's only got Willie Peters, he's got Mark Riddell and Colin Ward. Now, no disrespect to those players, but all 3, there's nothing they can do to stop the Broncos' onslaught.
Farah on camera as Andrew was talking about him, the anxious St George Illawarra coach.
Nice shot here from Wayne Bartram on Sivanasiva. Another penalty, another piggyback out of the danger area. It may be a cliche, but There'll only be one real instruction coming from Andrew Farrer, and that is to start again. Forget the scoreboard. Not as though they're running out of time. There's still an hour of football left in this one. Start again, forget about what's happened, and get our game in order.
This is Dane Carlo. That is the 40-metre line, his own end of the park. Prentice for Webke now. And Webke, they're dropping off tackles, St George. Berrigan. They're not completing their tackles. And 12 of them against 3 tells that story. Lockyer, 6 more tackles. Prentice across. Dummies. Now he picks up a runner going the other way. Kelly. And that is where they are. Familiar territory for the Bronx. Harrison. Myers. And a penalty to Brisbane. Inside the 10 against the Dragons.
I'm calling it, I'm saying Wayne, I'm here, I'm here.
Like
He's jumping early.
a tap here.
Metre and a half in front of me before we've got it. I know that, Trent.
Referee played good advantage. And yes, they will take the tap.
Luke Prentice working immediately with Sivanasiva, looking for a treble. Now Lockyer goes to the right and Myers is short. Prentice again. Long ball, dummy by Berrigan. And again it's a penalty. Is he thinking about the sin bin?
Hold it.
Well, they've taken, that's 2 quick taps in 4 seconds they've taken. Time's off at the moment. Yeah, he must be thinking about the sin bin, professional foul.
Metre and a half, 2 metres. He's off the line. He's off the line. We'll get him to hold the 10. Off you go.
So it is take 3. And Sivanasiva. There's the upright, so they're pressing again. Big Darren Burns out wide. And another penalty to Brisbane.
Oh, Lance. No.
One against Lance Thompson stripping the football in the tackle. Will be another tap. 6-1 now the penalty count. The big difference between 18 and 20, not much difference between 20 and 22. That's why they're taking the tap.
Harrison. Oh, Harrison. Lockyer puts it down. They were over again.
Did you see that from Ashley Harrison? A lovely piece of deception there by Ashley Harrison. Great skill. He actually just missed it, just showed the ball, dummied to himself virtually, got the ball back, and that would have been another try if Lockyer held on to that.
Thompson. You would have heard in that discussion he had with the referee. We've only got 1, sir. They've got about a half a dozen. And I think that every penalty they've been given has been quite legitimate. This is Riles. Big season for him, but I'm sure he wouldn't like to be a party to a 20-0 deficit at the moment, not like any one of the other 16 players in the squad. Here they go now. Can they do something about this embarrassment at the moment? Takiri able to get back into the field of play. Berrigan. It'll be. It'll be significant if the Dragons at least can contain them rather than give an easy penalty or whatever they've been doing in the previous examples of Brisbane coming out of their 20-metre line.
Well, this is what the Dragons needed. They needed a mistake from the Broncos. They found it. Darren Burns, unfortunately, just a little knock on in front of his own stick. So a great opportunity for the Dragons to get on the board at last.
McGregor on the right. 9 metres away from the line. Hooper finding Ryan. Brisbane have not been in this situation in the game thus far. Barrett for Thompson wide. 13 metres out from the line. Barrett comes from the blind side, comes to the open side, links up with Hart. By Hart and Riddell. Lofting the ball across for Hooper. Then to Thompson. Cut-out ball. Out for Gasnier. Gasnier gets a pass away. He's gone sailing over the touchline.
I think with a touch Wendell Sailor here, if it did, he did play out the football. See here, Gasnier up against Kelly. Throws the pass. No, nowhere near Wendell Sailor.
Well, it's not, but I'm pretty sure that the referee has ordered the ball to go to St George Illawarra fee.
He has indeed. And again, the Dragons get a chance. Here's Gasnier. Away from Lockyer, finding McGregor. McGregor gets rid of one. And McGregor forced to play the ball. A metre from the line. From Gasnier. Finding Roberts. Roberts taken down by Prittis. Originally by Sivanasiva. Riddell for Barrett. Barrett to the 10-metre line. Riles. Hooper. Hooper from dummy half. A barge over endeavour. Now Riddell. For Barrett, a little kick. They've got to score. Andrew Hart. He has gone to the video. It'll be to do with the put down. I'm sure they're onside.
Let's just have a look at the onside. Andrew Hart, along with Amos Roberts. Kick of Barrett, goes to the line, drops balls. We freeze it there. Freeze it there. They're the two players that we're looking at in relation to the kicker, and it does look as though they are onside. That's Hart on the outside. Yeah, there's no dramas with the put down at all. That looks like a try.
Yeah, it looks fair enough, and the more Trent Barrett gets the ball in his hands, the more damage he'll cause the opposing team. Looks like he's done it again. And the green light, the try is scored, so the Dragons, they're back at the game, no doubt about it. They needed to score after that mistake by the Broncos. They got an extra set of 6 there. Of course, when they got the scrum feed, still mystified as to how that happened. But good ball there from the dummy half. Barrett looks on the outside. You can see that he's got plenty of support. Robertson Hart running through. No one at home. And Andrew Hart, well done.
Yeah, the great thing about the Trent Barrett kick was the fact, have a look at the way he holds the ball out in 2 hands. So he could be passing it. That brings the defensive line up. They're able to time their run beautifully on the outside of him, Roberts and Hart. The execution was perfect. Gets there just in front of Chris Walker. Riddell, an opportunity to take them 2 closer.
Riddell. 11 metres out and just off centre. Out goes the familiar left arm, and there's the conversion. So for the first time tonight, they got something to cheer about. It is 20-6, the Broncos leading. Still an air of mystery, I guess, in the mind of Wendell Sailor mainly, how the Dragons got that scrum feed. He was demonstrative, Sailor. He was adamant that he didn't play at the ball. Here we are, coming out of the northeastern corner for Nathan Blacklock to make a tremendous run for the Dragons. The crowd really giving the Dragons some support. Roberts for McGregor. McGregor beats 2. Back to the middle for Hart. 9 metres from the line. Riddell. McGregor. Puts it down for Ainscough. And across now for Stapleton, is it? Bailey, in fact. Now from Ainscough. Barrett inside for Roberts. Roberts! It's there for Ainscough again. Now Blacklock. 3 metres from the line. Ainscough. From Hooper for Barrett. Barrett kicking, looking for McGregor. Picked up by Barrett, put over the line, but there will be a double knock-on ruling.
And a great play by the Dragons. Back into the match. A lovely break down the left-hand side made by Darren Tracy and Blacklock. Wendell Saylor actually marked up and was too involved in mucking around with the player, having words with the player, left his wing unmarked, and that's why they made a bust down there. McGregor got to that football first, but couldn't hang on to it.
Again, that's an interesting decision. Well, McGregor was ruled to have knocked on. Would be an argument that it hit his hand and came back. Luke Prittis out of dummy half, throws a dusty pass to Chris Walker. Modi Takiri, no room to move.
Webke to the bench. And Carl Webb taking a hammering there from the Dragons. Harrison now punching it down. Saylor's coming down on it. And the ball wins the race for the line. It is an interesting point that Peter makes regarding that incident back there when McGregor's definitely appeared to knock it backwards. Andrew, sideline.
Well, first of all, from the Brisbane side of things, it's a minor knee problem for Shane Webke, but the news is bad for the Dragons. After that try was scored by Andrew Hart, Lance Thompson was forced to go up the tunnel. Now, Lance hasn't played since round 24 when he did some ligament damage against the Newcastle Knights. It's his comeback game tonight. It didn't look good. He went straight to the doctor and up to the tunnel.
Bossy, when you say it didn't look good, do you think it might be a reoccurrence of that knee injury?
Well, the fact that Lance Thompson came straight over to the sideline in himself and basically shook his head, you know, I don't think you can give a needle for some sort of ligament injury, so it'd be interesting to see what the doctor comes up with.
Jason Riles. Good tackle there by Myers. Here's Riddell. Barrett. Riles again, bumping away from Myers. Now it's Hart. 40-metre line. Brisbane's end on the last, and Riddell. A kick bouncing favourably for Lockyer, using Takiri. Going back to run around them. And eventually it's the tackle of Gasnier that stops him sufficiently long enough. Kelly is chased down by Willie Peters.
I think Mark Riddell can have a real impact here for the Dragons. It's very important that they do not rely solely on Trent Barrett to initiate things. It becomes too easy to cope with as Burns takes it 40 out from his own line. Riddell can do some nice things around the ruck area. That takes pressure off his 5'8". Saylor up the middle and away. One-on-one with Roberts. No contest.
Saylor goes in. Puts the ball down. Second try of the night for Saylor. 24-6. What a thumping.
Yeah, well, he's running with more purpose than I've seen in a long time, Wendell Saylor. Just a simple inside ball from the dummy half. That's ordinary, tragic defence there by the Dragons. And look at Saylor. Plenty of room to move. Roberts flat-footed, didn't go into him. And Wendell Saylor having a magnificent game here tonight.
Yeah, almost an impossible job there for Amos Roberts. He will beat anybody one-on-one 99 times out of 100. Just about the best player in broken play in the competition is Wendell Saylor. But some poor work out of marker, I'm sorry. And again, it was just a simple ball inside. The second marker couldn't come up with the tackle. Big forward up against a quick back. Wendell straight through the defensive line and loving it.
Lockyer with the perfect record, still intact. It is 26-6, the Broncos over the Dragons. 29 minutes gone. Andrew.
And it seems Wendell Saylor's pretty pretty hell-bent on making sure that this match isn't his last in rugby league tonight. Of course, he's off to the rugby union ranks next year. I'll tell you what, last Friday week against the Sharks, he was outstanding as well. He touched the ball 20 times in that match, made more ground than any Broncos player. And just an update on Lance Thompson too. He's returned from the dressing rooms now. They have re-strapped his knee, but as you can see, there's still problems. He took a run up the sideline, didn't look all that flash.
So the Dragons starting again. 20 points to 6. They were probably thinking, come on, we can do it. Let's be the next to score. Alas, Sailor punctures them again. Just outside their own 30-metre line now, the Broncos. Myers. 7 from 9, St George. Illawarra. 14 from 17, the Broncos. Very high completion rates. Lockyer. That's accidental offside. And he'll put a scrum down. It was the last. He's ordered the turnover. Bailey. A couple of times we've seen that in the semi-finals. Accidental offside. 30 metre. And a penalty goes to the Dragons.
Hang on, back, Tyson, to back. I'm giving the mark. Mark's here. Take it behind the mark.
Willie Peters. Kicking for line.
Line hold.
Tracy. Peters. Riles. Big hand in the face of Sivanasiva. Peters again. Barrett. And well taken back there by Bailey. McGregor. Barrett. And given down to Riddell. Clock has gone into dummy half. Barrett puts a kick in, came off the Broncos. Kelly has got it for them. Kelly is outside the 20. Good reaction there by Stuart Kelly. Berrigan on the inside for Burns. Prittis over halfway.
He's had a great first half, Luke Prittis. The forwards are going magnificently, but he's putting it on a platter for them. Tremendous service, scurrying out when there is some space, and just directing the flow.
Lockyer then turning it back on the inside for Myers, and then for Webke, and now for Lockyer. St George Illawarra with the ball. Ainscough. Gasnier. Colin Ward going on in 14. Hooper. Takes it across the mouth. High tackle against the Broncos. Well, they couldn't have got much higher, Luke. So 7 minutes of the first half to go. Colin Ward playing it on the Broncos 30-metre line. This is Bailey and jumper number 15. Peters. Hooper. Now it's Ward. Back from Riddell. Riddell for Barrett. Barrett for Riddell. Riddell up towards the 10-metre line. He's pulled down by Berrigan. 26-6 as they make a play on the short side. This is the last. Barrett puts a kick back. He's looking for Roberts. Lockyer in goal. Lockyer gets it away. That is Walker. Now it's back to Takiri. And eventually they put over the dead ball line for a line drop-out restart.
Some razzle-dazzle there from the Broncos in their own in-goal area. Desperately trying to get out. Nice kick from Barrett. Looked like Lockyer might get out, but Andrew Hart was there. Ball to Walker, then Takiri had nowhere to go. It still took a while to put him out over the line.
It's one of the greatest displays of confidence you've seen all year. Looking at the scoreboard, looking at time in the game, we're really on half-time, and they're still desperately trying to get out of their own in-goal area, showing enormous confidence in their teammates.
Lockyer's dropout, 50 metres. This is Bailey. Colin Ward. Pulled down just outside the Brisbane 20-metre line. Now Tracy. Tracy looking around to see if he had support with him, but a lot of defence in there. Here's an awful pass. On the bounce, it's taken in by Amos Roberts. And that is Colin Ward. Taking it back towards the centre was Andrew Hart. Now Riddell, now Barrett. Oh, Barrett ran straight into Carl Webb. Now it's with Willie Peters. Now Amos Roberts. Roberts. 10 metres away. Got the ball away from McGregor. McGregor gets rid of a would-be tackle from Walker. Ball back in the middle of the park. It's with Riddell. Riddell wrestling with Webke. Got the ball back. Amos Roberts is with it again. Now Nathan Blacklock. And Blacklock will play the ball on the last tackle. Back to Roberts, and Roberts then for Barrett. There's trouble for the Broncos. Gasnier takes it infield. 10 metres and puts it down.
Well, great stuff here. What about this? The collision between Trent Barrett and Carl Webb. He's playing very tough these days, Trent Barrett, and very cleverly. They go the short side on the last tackle. We freeze it there. He shapes the kick. We've got Darren Burns coming up and just Wendell Saylor on the far side against two Dragons defenders. Trent Barrett, as play continues, chooses the right option, draws Burns, outside ball to Hooper, and he gives it to Mark Gasnier, who improves the position. Nice time to strike just before the break.
Yeah, well played there by the Dragons. Stuart Kelly had gone in to make a tackle a couple of tackles earlier, hadn't got back out into the centres, left them a touch short, and they handle it pretty well. Just the numbers game. And Mark Gasnier, nice little feign there, and away he went. And gee, they needed that try.
10th try of the year for Mark Gasnier. And now another of the marks. From 8 metres in from touch on the eastern side. They're running towards the southern end. St George Illawarra, they're running towards home in the first half. Riddell. And away it goes. It's coming around, and he got it. Wonderful kick. 26-12. Andrew.
Well, Ray, watching all this from the sideline, it is as if the Dragons are playing 79th minute football, the way they're throwing it around. And Mark Riddell, as he did last week, an important kick against the Bulldogs, and at the end of the game, it was 1 point the difference. So, look, 14 down at half-time. If that's the way it finishes, the Dragons are right in this.
2.5 minutes to go. To answer that question of Andrews. This is Andrew Hart.
You see a very concerned Andrew Farah down the end of the tunnel. Riddell going towards halfway. They haven't had much football in this first half, the Dragons, but they've controlled it very well. 14 uses. They've gone through to the last tackle on 12 occasions. Not the last tackle, but they've had a completion on 12 occasions. So that's only 2 errors in 40 minutes of football.
There's Barrett again. Not sure about that option. I would have thought there was probably a couple of other better options for the St George captain. But then again, he's got so much on his plate, he's bound to make or take a wrong option occasionally, isn't he? I said at the top of the telecast that Brisbane would rely on Lockyer and his brilliance, as would the Dragons with Barrett. And they've both stepped up to the plate, haven't they? The Broncos then coming away from their own 20-metre line with Harrison. This is Bradley Myers inside the last minute. And that is Corey Parker. I was about to call him Carl Webb. And unavailable Dragons, including Craig Smith. If they can stay alive, they'll get Smith back for the grand final. And of course, one of their forgotten men, Sean Timmins. Shane Walker putting this kick over the sideline. And the scramble pack in the dying seconds. It may not even have time to. Yeah, Sean Timmins, I mean, there's a player they haven't had any use from at all this year, and he's a tremendous talent.
Well, I was speaking to Sean before the game, asked him how the leg was, and he said coming along slowly. People say it might have finished his career. That's not in the mind of Sean Timmins. He believes he'll be back. It's been a very long rehabilitation as the siren goes for half-time.
So the Broncos leading at half-time, 26-12. 4 tries, 5 goals. They led 20 points to 0 before St George Illawarra were able to open their eyes. It was a stunning start. It was a reminder that they are a high-quality unit, the defending premiers. As we welcome you back now to our live telecast from the Sydney Football Stadium. And after a blazing start, the Broncos lead 26-12. They led 20-0 at one stage before the Dragons started to breathe some fire and giving their supporters just a flicker of hope. It could have been a lot worse than it really is. As Darren Lockyer takes the Broncos back onto the Sydney Football Stadium. One recalls the times that these two clubs have met here in important matches, and the Broncos have really given either St George or St George Illawarra a tally.
And our 2's new possession flow chart shows that the Dragons have had very little football. In fact, 15 possessions. Normally you average about 20 and a half. No football for about the first 20 minutes. They came into their own late in the game. There's 4 sets of 6 in a row. No surprise to see that try there to Gasnier. But very, very barren early on. Started to get into the game from about this point. Now for the Broncos, they've had good use of the football. There's that 20 I'm talking about, and what about that for the first 20 minutes? 3 tries, plenty of tall blue columns, very few black columns, only a few here in the middle and a couple late. So I think Wayne Bennett especially happy with the start, just looking for a few less errors from his team in this second 40 minutes.
And the match stats tonight, look at those line breaks for the Broncos. 7 line breaks to 3. Now one of those scored plenty of tries. And look, plenty of tackles made by the Dragons as well. Missed tackles, not much in them. The Broncos have had a lot of football, and that's why they've made a few too many errors. Also some stats. Luke Bailey's playing well for the Dragons, 15 tackles and 7 hit-ups. And for the Broncos, Sivan Asiva, 10 and 10.
Paul Simpkins. A busy night. A rush of penalties early for Brisbane. It was 6-1 at one stage. As the second half unfolds, with one of the Dragons' try scorers, Mark Gasnier, underneath that tackle from Burns, and Shane Walker, now Blacklock. Riddell, dummy half play, across with a dummy, and then finding on the outside Bailey. Peters is still on, and then Barrett. Very strong Barrett, which was exemplified in a collision he had with Carl Webb coming up to half-time. Peters, the kick fielded by Takiri. Berrigan away for Lockyer. And Lockyer is picked up in defence. There's Thompson limbering up. Little flash of good news there for the Dragons. It's a long way from over. I must admit, at 20-0 it was probably looking rather grim, but to get back to 26-12 in the modern game, there's still hope for the Dragons. This man has been imposing tonight. Wendell Saylor. Walker. Long ball finding Lockyer to the left foot. And Ainscough gets a good bounce. Better than a good bounce. And Ainscough, I don't know whether he threw a dummy then or nearly lost the football.
He just passed it to himself, Ray.
Which we saw Ashley Harrison do earlier tonight. This is Andrew Hart. He's a real slogger. He's a very important member of this St George Illawarra side in my book. Colin Ward, one of their veterans. Riddell, now Bailey. Telecast going through New Zealand and Papua New Guinea and to the UK. Barrett with a little kick. Walker covers it. And he's immediately claimed in the tackle by Amos Roberts.
Yeah, it's well done there by Shane Walker. Now the Broncos have got great field position as Corey Parker just takes it forward, but the 5 tackles left, they're 40 metres out.
Seven Asiva. Talking of the UK, he'll be anxious to hang on to his Australian jumper for the Kangaroo Tour. This man is one of the few certainties for that tour. Webke. Then from Berrigan. Over for Lockyer inside the 30-metre line, picking up Berrigan. Berrigan to the 20-metre line. And he's 22 metres in from touch as Myers from dummy half finds Lockyer. Lockyer puts a grubber kick in. He's looking for Saylor, but it's well fielded by Amos. And Lockyer makes the tackle on Roberts. They went through that exercise seemingly without any palpitations at all. It's all running nice and smooth for them. Gasnier. Pass was a little bit suspect. Tracy took advantage of it. Peters drifting. Picking up Hart, who is now, as you can see, 5 metres from the halfway line. Now Barrett. Give him plenty of time to run and think about where he's going to kick it. They're not exerting a lot of pressure on Barrett. It might be the legacy of fatigue. Walker. This is Parker.
Please, back one, keep coming, keep coming.
Burns. Webke and Saylor putting on a play together. And it's away for Webke. Then Berrigan. Offload for Webke. Well, this has been a marvellous effort by Webke. Lockyer. Flicking for Myers. Back for Walker. Shane Walker, 10 metres away from the line. Berrigan. If they score here, put it down to Shane Webke. They played at the ball, did they not? Referee said no. Berrigan. 10-metre line, last tackle now. From Harrison to Lockyer. And the grubber kick for Walker, who is in front of the kick-up. Now the Dragons have cleaned it up, but it'll be a line dropout.
Yeah, great work by the Broncos. Roberts made a meal of this one. So they get the ball back out from the dropout. But what about the work of Shane Webke? He was out there running like a three-quarter. He looked like Reg Gasnier for a minute, striding out wide. Look at him. He takes it up. He's throwing passes all over the place. Beautiful ball. Then he backs up again and gets into some more open space. Fantastic stuff by the Australian prop.
What a bad effort from Sean Berrigan to get rid of Luke Bailey and Andrew Hart as well in that movement.
25 metres out now from the Dragons line. Played by Takiri, now Sivanasiva. Wedges play into the centre of the ground. Walker, Harrison, Burns, Harrison. 12 out from the Dragons line. They're brewing. Now, Kelly. Burns. Sail up. This will be a knock-on against Brisbane.
Again, I'm keen to have a look at this knock-on. Wendell Saylor doing so well here. Now, where's the... Well, yeah, that's Sean Berrigan in support on the outside. That's a big test pass there by the Dragons. If they'd have been scored on early on, real problems.
7 errors against the Broncos, 3 against the Dragons. And a let-off there for the Dragons. They were under enormous pressure, and as Peter pointed out, they really have to be the team that scores next. Now what's happened here? Myers and Walker have had a bit of a discussion over what's happened on McGregor.
Well, whatever happened right in front of the grandstand. The Dragons' army has gone up. They didn't like it.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, no, listen to the touch judge. We're controlling this.
Tackle was effective. Players coming in. All
right,
I'll go to the mark.
All right, Chris, stay here, Chris, so you can keep walking that way. Players affected on the ground. He's going to drop down on the knees. Okay, it's going to be a penalty over here. Keep him out of it.
There was late knees and the tackle from Walker. I was interested in the conversation that happened between Myers and Walker, as if one was saying to the other, "What'd you do that for?"
It was very ordinary, wasn't it? It was very ordinary.
So the Dragons crossing halfway. And I haven't forgotten you, Andrew, but we'll just stay with this play. Peters for Roberts, Roberts for Gasnier. Gasnier for Roberts. Roberts over the 30-metre line. And Parker is there to put him down with Sivanasiva. Riddell. Peters. Barrett. Wide for Riles. 10 away on the last. McGregor. Barrett. There's the kick. Hooper couldn't get a catch on it. I thought he might have been in front of the kicker anyway. So the turnover goes to the Broncos. Here it is. And Hooper, well, looking at that picture, you'd swear blind he had to be offside. Let's go to Andrew and see what happened. Just 1 second. There's the kick. It's line ball. It is line ball, but it made no difference anyway. So Brisbane coming out of their own 20-metre zone. Andrew with the halftime wrap.
Well, Ray, I'll tell you very briefly what Wayne Bennett said. It was pretty much that we've won absolutely nothing. We start all over again as if it's 0-0, and that's despite the fact that his team has a 14-point lead. And from Andrew Farah, I think he went to the coaching manual where you tell them what they want to hear, not necessarily what you want to say. He was very upbeat, basically reminding the players, we've come back from 14 down before, we can do it here tonight.
Now the pot is boiling over.
Walk out, Darren. Walk away.
Well, Luke Prittis just basically dropped the football going out of dummy half,
Walk away.
and then it was on.
Walk away.
Darren Tracy in there throwing a few.
Yeah, Darren Tracy and Wendell have had quite a few words tonight. A couple of times they've met in tackles, and there's been looks and words exchanged between the two.
Let's stay with the referee and his touch judges.
Who you got first? Aggressor? Who you got aggressor? Wendell?
In my opinion, the tackle was made. There wasn't on it. This player stood up, made the first action with the head to the head of Wendell here.
Right.
And retaliated. So
Okay.
it's not
All right.
first mark.
Okay. Same as all. Right, the pair, Wendell. Now listen. Got an incident over there, we have one down here. You either cool it down or you're going to spend some time on the sideline. You're the aggressor in this one, it'll be penalised. If he doesn't cool it down, he'll go with him, all right?
Well, Andrew
so cool
Farah will be absolutely furious with Darren Tracy.
Really was.
They're about to get the football inside the Dragons 30. He has got up, pushed Wendell Sailor there, very unnecessarily. Wasn't much in it at all, but gee, when you're about to get the ball, you don't give the referee any opportunity to penalise.
Well, you just got to keep your hands away. Keep them away, play on, and they would have got a scrum and the ball back. Sivana cops a high one from Riddell. Play on.
Some of the reaction from the St George coaching box. In the meantime, Myers just outside the 40-metre line. Sivana running more on the angle than straight. Can't knock him, he's picked up a couple of tries. Lockie has put a kick in, he's looking for Chris Walker. Ainsco's pointing like a traffic cop, and Walker has scored. Well, I was watching Jamie Ainscow directing his fullback, telling him where to go, and then all of a sudden, Walker has got the best result possible.
Great work from Lockyer as he kicks through, ball going through. He frees it there. We've got Jamie Ainscow pointing to this man, Amos Roberts, as play continues. And it's just an awful bounce. Look at the bounce over the head of Roberts, who slips. And Chris Walker, perseverance paying off. Well-placed kick. Two men, as I pointed out, a long way from where the football was.
You know what, there's not much they could do about that, the Dragons. It was just the luck went the Broncos' way, but a great chase by Chris Walker. He is so quick, so fast over the ground. He put the pressure on them to make a decision, but the bounce beat everyone, except Chris Walker.
Maybe being a little bit critical, but I still feel as though Jamie Ainscow there, he's got to sprint back just in case something goes wrong. It's fine to, point to a bloke and say, well, that's yours, but he's really got to get back. He could have got in front of Chris Walker, still legally. He could have been there to maybe cater for that bad bounce. He left it all on the shoulders of one man.
Lockout, it's online. It's a converted try. 32-12. And that's the point I was making, the one that Peter has just endorsed, really. I thought he could have done more to get back there. We welcome our audiences, as I said, overseas in the UK. I know you're watching. As you are down in the Shaky Isles and, of course, up in PNG. First knockout semi-final. Second tackle since the restart. Well, it's looking bleak now for the Dragons. 32-12. Luke Prittis.
That try to Chris Walker only moments ago. We go back again to the incident involving Darren Tracy and Wendell Sailor. The Dragons should have been on the attack. And Sailor again looking to make them pay. Unstoppable inside the 40.
They're aptly named the Broncos tonight, anyway. Here is Corey Parker. He's got it. It's come back with St George.
Roberts.
And it is the Dragons with Roberts. I was about to say Berrigan scores for the Broncos. Suddenly I realised he didn't have the football. It's up the other end of the park. Peters. Tracy.
Well, it's gone backwards to Mark Gasnier, who keeps play going. We've got a Dragons player in Paul McGregor, 70 metres away, has hardly moved. As Willie Peters going wide. Straight run here from Hart. Well tackled low. Bradley Myers.
10 away from Barrett, a floater. Ainscow struggles with the defence.
McGregor being carried off.
Now from Roberts. Down for Peters. Across for Barrett. Lofted across for Blacklock. Blacklock for the corner. Gets it over the line. Is it a double movement? It looks like one.
Yeah, it does from up here. It was a great tackle. from Stuart Kelly. And as far as I'm concerned, when Blacklock hit the deck, Stuart Kelly was still round his legs. It looks though he's got up, made that second effort. Look at this for a tackle. Drags him down, doesn't let him go, and then he gets up and lunges over. This angle might tell us more. Yeah, that's a double movement.
Double movement,
absolutely.
For sure.
Crawl forward, it'll be a penalty to the Broncos.
And to add insult to injury, as I said, Paul McGregor has been assisted from the field. 2 trainers helping him off. Looked like a leg injury.
Just recalling the new rule that applies to that. If the momentum has not completed, then you can be allowed, in the old terminology, the double movement. But here we have a legitimate tackle. The arm carrying the ball, everything hits the ground. The momentum appears to hesitate. There seems to be a period where it's finished, and he's improved the position of the football. You would have to think this will be a double movement rule.
Yeah, Stuart Kelly, he still had hold of Nathan Blacklock. If he hadn't, he had every right to crawl over the line, but it wasn't the case. Oh, no.
Well, there is the try. It has been awarded.
It's his call, not my
Look, you
call.
can't believe it. The referee is saying it's not my call. It's come from upstairs. What about this from Amos Roberts? He didn't have much choice. A perfect intercept. Lockyer did well to come up with the tackle here. Chris Walker was in pursuit as well. And Fatty, well,
Pete, I'm stunned. Honestly, I am stunned at that decision.
You're not on your own, Sim. They've obviously applied that new rule, and very much to the benefit of St George Illawarra, but watching those pictures, I don't think that's what the new rule is all about.
Ray, even applying the new rule, it doesn't apply because Nathan Blacklock was stopped short of the line and got going again. The momentum did not take him over the line. He was short, and then he crawled forward with a player hanging on him after his ball carrying arm touched the ground.
Bartram! It's hit the upright and bounced away. 32-16 now. So the Dragons trailing by 16. 14 points at halftime, 16 now. 24 minutes of the game to go. As we welcome our network back to us. And
well, I'll tell you what we've done, Ray. We've just sent Peter Sterling down to talk to the video referee tonight to find out how and why he awarded the try. So I'll have an answer in a minute.
Peters, Hooper. Barrett. Lockyer working with Takiri. So Agent Sterling.
No, he doesn't like to be proven wrong. He's back. What's the report, Sneak?
Harrison. Now, Kelly. He's in top gear. There's support inside. It's Saylor. Not this man again. Yes, it is. And Wendell is there. Wendell Saylor has scored his 3rd try.
Oh, magnificent football from the Broncos. The best comeback possible against what looks like a dicey decision. They've gone 100 metres to score a great semi-final try. There's no St George Illawarra defence out there. Look at that line. Terrible, terrible line there. The pass will always beat the man. Stuart Kelly had Darren Tracy chasing him as centre. Always had the second row covered. And he held the pass up. Wendell, look at this. He got the ball 30 metres out. Still had plenty of work to do. Roberts went high. And Wendell just piggybacked him over the line. What a try. What a try.
Yeah, great work from this Brisbane back line. They are so good when they're in full flight. Stuart Kelly, what an end of the season for him. Great work from Stuart Kelly, former Parramatta player. Hasn't played much first grade, but he came into the breach left by Michael De Vere. Crowd claiming that Amos Roberts, that's the St George Illawarra crowd, had his hand under the football. But shocking defence at the other end. Why you would rush up when you're outnumbered? You've just got to drop back and slide. And okay, I did make a visit. It was ruled that momentum did carry him over the line, and benefit of the doubt was applied.
Thank you. They've stretched it. But anyway, here's Lockyer from the sideline, unsuccessful in his attempted conversion of the Sailor #3 try. Andrew.
And I'll tell you what, more bad news for the Dragons. That injury to Paul McGregor is a very bad cut above the eye. He won't be back as we look back at some of the action of Wendell Sailor tonight. This has been a supreme performance. This is much like his game against the Dragons last year down at Wynn Stadium. If you remember it, on his 26th birthday, he won our Man of the Match award. It was just a rousing performance then, but tonight there's a little more at stake. It's a sudden death battle, and he has been at his 5-star best.
Yes, it has been vintage Sailor. And of course, with every game that he plays, he is aware a defeat is not only the end of the season for the Broncos, but it's the end of a career in rugby league for him. This is Parker. It seems like an eternity ago that he threw a pass that was going to put Sean Berrigan under the uprights. Prittis worked overtime tonight. Parker again. 9 from 12. Used by St George Illawarra. Wayne Bennett has only used 7. As Harrison puts this kick in over the head of Amos Roberts and in over the dead ball line, I should say. Tomorrow we will televise the Bulldogs and the Sharks. Second semi tomorrow. You'll see that at 4 o'clock in Sydney, and check your local guides elsewhere. This is not over, but it is looking bleaker by the minute for this St George Illawarra joint venture. Twice they've met this year, and Brisbane won the first encounter easily, and then the Dragons got them back at Wynn Stadium about a month ago in a match that will be remembered as the one. Here's Blacklock. Blacklock. If he can score another try, it will be the highest try-scoring rugby league player since, I think, Ray Preston back in the 50s. Gasnier. Gasnier! Mark has got his second. Gasnier's got his second try.
Well, they keep giving their fans a flicker of hope. They've got to score points. 1 a minute. Nathan Blacklock again looking for the football, doing so very successfully away from his wing. And Gasnier, he was covered here. They'll be disappointed, Brisbane. They've defended beautifully all night, but it's 2 on 2. Wendell comes in on Mark Gasnier, who spins around, carries the big man over. Great work from the young centre.
Well, they won't lay down the Draggies, will they? They keep coming and coming. Lovely work from Gasnier. Ossil hit and she spun around in the tackle. Sailor and Kelly weren't up to the task there of controlling Mark Gasnier, one of the most improved players I've seen all year. He's had a great year, Mark Gasnier. That caps it off.
Well, he'd be hoping it doesn't cap it off, Paul. He'd probably much prefer to cap it off a fortnight down the track. There's still life. Bartram bringing it in, Oh, get him in the boat. He's a big one. 2 points for Bartram. It is 36-22.
Well, I'm not game to say, Ray, that it is over, are you? 14 points the difference. That's what it was at half-time. There's 18 minutes remaining. If it does get down to touch football, I don't think there's a better side in the competition than the Dragons if it does get down to that. The Broncos have just got to stop the Dragons' offloads. They get the cash if they do.
Here's Roberts. sending Riles back to meet the defenders.
Well, I don't know that statistics always tell the story, but it'll have to be a fair reversal from the ones we've seen throughout the season. Brisbane leading at half-time have gone on 11 times to win from 11 leads, while the Dragons have trailed at half-time on 12 occasions. They've only won 2 throughout this season. They're not that great at coming from behind, as Blacklock again looking to create something middle of the field.
Bailey, Barrett, Lockyer moving urgently away to his right. And now going back to his 20-metre line to try and run around them. That might have shaken Darren up a little bit, that tackle. Kelly. Bradley Myers. 30 up. Burns to the short side. Carlo. The last. Harrison. Just making Roberts do a little bit of work back here. Blacklock it is. Had good weight on the kick, didn't he?
That's a ploy that Dragons have used very successfully at the end of the season. Blacklock dropping back to fullback every now and then to push Amos Roberts out on the wing. Still 90 metres to go as Lance Thompson battles on with that crook knee to the 20-metre mark.
Colin Ward holding the defence away with one arm as he tries to promote the ball with the other. Now Peters, then Riles for Barrett to go across for Hart. Back for the run around with Barrett. Then it goes on to Hooper. Hooper out towards halfway. Finds Ainscough with the ball going back. And then for Thompson. And Thompson is driven down on his own 40-metre line. Prentice.
Once again, I think it's a poor choice of kick as Shane Walker prepares to come back on from Trent Barrett there. He's had a great game again tonight, but just a little kick there. And the Broncos now look at them, 30 metres out, 4 tackles up their sleeve.
Sailor on the short side.
And what a moment for 26-year-old Michael Curry. Got the football now. Played 18 first-grade games with the Cowboys. He's now in the Brisbane Broncos lineup, getting his first touch.
Berrigan. Back for Shane Walker. Gasnier able to clean it up. And the Dragons will come away from in front of their uprights with this relieving penalty.
Yeah, I think a double whammy there for Shane Walker. Pretty ordinary kick from him as well. No one knew it was on and he couldn't get to it and then gave away the penalty.
So,
yeah, a try now would certainly make it a great finish. The Dragons managed to score.
Inside the last 14 minutes of the game, and we're back to a 14-point ball game. Barrett. Curry has gone high.
He might have been going all right. He's still got him in the head. Still in the head. If you make contact with the head, that's why it's a penalty.
Yeah, just a little bit of exuberance over the top there. He wants to get involved. I mentioned he's played some first grade. Of course, there has been some mixed reports. He hasn't played in the top grade for Brisbane until tonight.
Bailey taken down. 6 more tackles, he's ruled. He's taken down by Takiri. On the line, there was Brisbane player playing at the football. Gives the Dragons a chance. This is Chris Lightvoll. Hasn't had a lot of game time. And it's a penalty.
All over it. All over it.
It's against the marker. Barrett finding Colin Ward. Wide on the left. Gasnier. Peters. Bartram. Bartram. Peters. Bailey. There's the line. Bartram. Now for Barrett. Double pumped it. Blacklock's passed to ground. Gasnier's with it now. Blacklock. Blacklock. And not into touch. Or is he into touch?
And Saylor's got the football.
Okay, Saints feed.
It's a Dragons feed.
Well, let's have a look at this. Well, gee, how many's in the tackle?
Well, it's got to be a penalty.
It's got to be a penalty.
Yeah, I'm sure he said it was raked out and that Wendell Saylor took it into touch. Well, if that's the case, it had to be a penalty. It was an 8-man tackle.
8 men in the tackle.
And the hooker's in. Hooker's in. Get the ball out there.
And it wasn't raked out. Come on. Chance here for the Dragons. Down 36-22. Peters. Hooper. 3 metres from the line now. Bartram's looking for Barrett. He finds Blacklock. Now Barrett. Now Lightvoll. Out the back for Blacklock. Now it's away from Riles. Riles puts a kick in. And it'll be a line drop out off the hands of Saylor.
Yeah, nice piece of skill there from Riles, the big prop. I'm not sure if it's what the Dragons were looking for at the time. They still had some men out wide. Some dangerous men too. And Roberts. Wendell Saylor handled it quite well.
It was only third tackle. They've just forfeited 40 to 50 metres here as the referee calls time off. Ball taking a long time to come back into play. Lockyer. A trajectory taken by Gasnier, 45 out. Here's Riles taking it inside the 40.
Spirited run back. Jason Riles to the 30-metre line. Bailey. Just outside the 20-metre line. Bartram, quick play the ball. Barrett. Barrett. Back it goes. Well picked up by Bartram. Held there by Shane Walker and Luke Prudis. Barrett a dummy half. Inside the 10-metre line. Colin Ward. Now Bartram. Barrett's gone without it. Riles goes for the line. He's got a portion on the line, and it is going to be a try. Well, was there a knock-on involved here?
Oh, we've got a big finish coming up. Wayne Bartram, a loose ball. It's amazing when the ball hits the deck in rugby league games. It's knocked down by Darren Birds. Just what happens, everyone stops. All of a sudden, Riles got the football, turns his back, and look at the size of the big bopper, and over he goes and bangs it down. Right on the line.
Now that is a very good decision, not needing to go to the video referee. That definitely came off Darren Burns. He's athletic for a big man, isn't he, Jason Riles? Got the momentum by turning his back and coming up the defence. And great strength to get the football over the line. Definitely a try. And well, where there's life, there's hope. Just under 10 to go. There's time.
He's had a big 10-15 minutes, Wayne Bartram, since he's come back on the field. Of course, we'll never forget the try that he scored here in semi-finals of 1994 against Canberra. He kicked the goal from the sideline that day to win that. And he's playing well tonight.
There's his attempt at conversion. The Dragons are back within 8 points. So the stage is set for a big finish if the Dragons can score again. Jason Riles. Gasnier on the second tackle. Reaches the 30-metre line for the Dragons, who trail by 8. Barrett. That is Hooper. Bartram. Peters. To the 40-metre line, Brisbane's end. Bartram. Barrett. Riles. 30-metre line, last tackle now for the Dragons. Barrett for Gasnier. Oh, Luke Priddis, magnificent. And then a pass to Carlaw.
He copped a bit of treatment after catching this, Luke Priddis as well. Beautiful slips catch. And with under 7.5 minutes to go, Chris Walker coming up against Willie Peters. He'll have him for speed. So too Hooper.
Fullback coming across. Last line of defence. Beats him. But at least they've herded him back into the middle of the park. Walker not held. Takiri's with the ball. Takiri bumps off one. Gets rid of another. And will be made to play the ball 2 metres out.
They come to the right. They score. Got to come quickly.
Lockyer. Drifting. Across for Saylor. Saylor's thinking about 4. He's got it there. Saylor is over again. 4 tries in the semi-final for Wendell Saylor. Magnificent.
Sparkling rugby league from the Brisbane side. Again, great confidence to come from the other end of the field. Chris Walker, outside Willie Peters, beats Hooper. Good support from Lottie Takiri. He's shoulder to shoulder with Jamie Ainscough. A miss from Blacklock. Ainscough stayed alive. Came up with a tackle, Trent Barrett. And then they come wide and we freeze it there. Just have a look. This is the outside Dragons defence. We've got 2 Brisbane players on the outside as play continues. It's just a matter of finding Wendell Saylor. They come across, they slide across. When Stuart Kelly was on the outside, Jason Riles did well to be out there, but he and Gasnier couldn't stop Wendell from getting number 4.
It's a great finish by Wendell, but the start of it was so exciting. Shane Walker, plenty of talent, isn't there, in the Walker family? Ben, Chris and Shane. I reckon he threw a 40-metre pass in to find his brother on the far side of the field. Wendell did some hard work as well to finish it off. But great football by the Broncos tonight. That should wrap it up now. 5 to go, and they lead by 12. Lockyer trying to make it 14.
Lockyer just away. 40 points to 28 with 5 to go, Andrew.
Ray, Wayne Bennett hasn't spoken to the media for about the past month. I reckon he might break into song tonight at the media conference. This has been some sort of game. This side had won only 2 games since the end of the State of Origin series. Now, that's a long time ago. That's 10 weeks ago. 2 matches going into sudden death match tonight. You know, away from home here at the Sydney Football Stadium. They have aimed up. They are still a threat for this premiership.
Rabs, I've got a great trivia question. The last time a player scored 4 tries in a semi-final, who would you think it'd be? I bet you Gary Coyne didn't come to mind. 1991 for Canberra. Wendell Saylor has equalled that tonight.
Gary Coyne, didn't he play second row?
Second row, he did.
I'm pretty sure it was against Manly that year. Should have asked me, Pete.
You probably played and missed 4 tackles.
No, I was gone by then. Just retired after a couple of great years at the Roosters. But they have found some form tonight. A lot of these players who hadn't been in the best of form, especially in the forwards, they've all played so well tonight. In a great arena and a great time of the year to find it.
Curry to the short side for Priddis. Burns a dummy half. 21 metres away. Just under 4 minutes of the game remaining. Saylor's got 4, Sivanseva's got a couple, Gasnier got a couple. Tomorrow, Sharks versus Bulldogs. To see who plays Newcastle in a week's time. 4 o'clock in Sydney. Check your local guides elsewhere. But you people in the northern capital, there's the shot for drop goal off the boot of Ashley Harrison. He might put that one away and think about it for another day. 40 points to 28, but you people in Queensland, you can rest easy. You are through, and you will play Parramatta.
Well, Trent Barrett, in a desperate measure to try and get the football back, has kicked out from the 20. If it had bounced and gone into touch, they get the scrum feed. Unfortunately for Trent and his teammates, way too big. As Brisbane score another one through Chris Walker.
So there's another one who has visited the try line more than once tonight. Chris Walker gets his second, 44-28.
Yeah, this is Trent Barrett looking to put it into touch, but to bounce it into touch. I think the last bloke we saw do that was the young kid Brett Finch down there in Canberra when they played Newcastle. And they could have had a shot at goal, but they're confident. They're oozing confidence at the moment. Lovely ball again from Shane to his brother Chris. They're all pointing. No one wants to make a tackle. Hooper came late, and Chris Walker scores. I tell you what he can do. He can find the try line. He can also find a camera. Does he love the cameras? Watch him down in the corner. That's 2 for me. There it is. Camera 23 down there.
Oh, he knows it all. Production, direction, knows where everybody's placed.
Can't you exaggerate? 23 cameras now.
And that's obviously what they try to do with Chris Walker, get him outside his defender. He's got blinding speed.
He knows where it is, all right, Fat. You got him, you pegged him for sure. Here's the attempt. Unsuccessful. A minute and a half to go. 44-28. The defending premiers live to fight again, Andrew.
And Ray, I think we've got to give a big rap to the club today as well. Gordon Tallis watching on, but earlier this afternoon too, the Toowoomba Clydesdales went in as underdogs in the Bundy Gold Cup there up in Queensland. They knocked over Redcliffe, so a premiership win there in the grand final. The Broncos back to form tonight, and all smiles on the bench. I can tell you Shane Webke too hasn't played the last 26 minutes of this match. He did cop a cork above the knee in the first half, but Wayne Bennett, that's a further show of faith in the troops he's got out there, that they can sit Shane Webke off the field for the last 26 minutes.
Talking with Gordon Tallis, as you were. The Broncos without Gordon Tallis have won only 5 from 14. What a huge effort though tonight from this man who built the reputation of being the best winger in the game of rugby league.
And what about tomorrow week, Ray? This Brisbane Broncos team, they've finally found some form. They'll take on Parramatta to see who will go into the grand final of 2001. Bring it on.
Parker. Final seconds of the game. They've been beaten 44-28. The Dragons, but at least they hung in there. They were trailing 20-0. They got hit by a tidal wave of attack early from Brisbane. They trailed by 14 at the break. They got back to an 8-point deficit, but then this brilliant side, the Broncos, have rolled over the top of them to win it 44-28. It's the highest scoring finals match ever, with 72 points all up.